Hello there, this is Cindy at cindybdesigns.com. Thank you for joining me today. It is Saturday, the 29th of March, 2025. Those are the three alternative cards that we will be making from the March 2025 Daisy Daydream Paper Pumpkin Kit. And I encourage you to watch this video all the way through. We're going to be doing a fun fold and a technique in there. And go back and look at Wednesday's video of March 26th. That's where I do the unboxing of the kit. And then we make those three kit cards there on top. And then I explain more in detail what is inside the kit and everything like that. To win this month's paper pumpkin from me, this is a video that you have to leave, or that you want to leave a comment on, is this video for your own chance to win the Daisy Daydream Paper Pumpkin Kit. That was a mouthful. So for this card here, I just cut down, or I pulled in one of the cut down card bases, not card bases, but a panel from the kit. And I took one of the stamps and I stretched it out just a teeny tiny bit because I knew I couldn't fit my sentiment all the way in that circle there that I wanted to. Don't hesitate to cut your stamps. If you get a nice clean cut, they will go perfectly back together like you're seeing there. So this alternative card is made from everything, all the kit contents, except for that mossy meadow card base there, which is A2 top folding. And now I'm just kind of rearranging the sentiment on that circle panel there that fits inside the, well, beehive panel that comes in the kit. And again, I cut that stamp just to make my sentiment fit for me. I do the exact same thing with rubber stamps too. I mean, that is what they are there for, is to make them work for us in our design or whatever we have in mind. So I'm fudging around with that, getting everything laid out and straightened out. Kind of my usual Butterfingers today. And that sentiment is going to go down in Lost Lagoon. Now, granted, there's no Lost Lagoon in this card whatsoever, but it is a color of the card kit, which are, by the way, Basic Black, Crumb Cake, Crushed Curry, Lemon Lime Twist, Lost Lagoon, Mossy Meadow, Soft Seafoam, and Very Vanilla. So I'm laying that down twice because my ink pad's a little bit dry and I've got to give that a little bit more juice. I think I explained in one of the other, or the video where I put the cards together, the blue looks like a really, it could pass for pool party, but it's just a super, super Lost Lagoon, kind of like the two-tone cardstock, but on the flip side of it. And you can see that kind of cardstock in our scrapbooking section at my online store, which is now part of our cardstock coordination and colors. So instead of having like 62 colors, basically, you just bumped it up by another 40 by having that two-tone cardstock, so well over 100 colors right there. Got the sentiment down. I'm wiping that off with my little chamois thing. And I think I already put Stampin' Dimensionals on the back of our daisy image there, which I did because this card was just so easy to put together. The only thing I did was basically adhere everything, stamp down the sentiment. We're going to glue that panel on with liquid adhesive because I do want to get that teeny tiny bit over there on the right. When I flip it over, it'll be towards the left. And the circle adhered tightly to our card base there. And then I am going to bring in, I think, snail this time around to put in our sentiment circle there. I do like to alternate my adhesives because I don't like to bulk up the glue too much. I guess I didn't. I think for another one I brought in glue. I did the next one. Or no, the snail. So I'm popping that right there in the middle. It lines up perfectly with a little honeycombs, or the hive image right there. And I'm going to do the same thing with this card using those little punch outs in the card kit or in paper pumpkin. Is you use the Stampin' Dimensionals on the back of our daisies there to get that adhered down, and it'll stay down just fine. Again, you could use liquid adhesive if you're not feeling good about that, but it will stay down. So I have a Stampin' Dimensional on the back of our little bumblebee there, and we're going to pop him down like above. It's going to hold down that little hive, and that is going to be it for our first card. Our second card is going to be a fun fold, and don't worry, I'll have the measurements and everything like that over on the blog at cindybdesigns.com. We are using Pebbled Path this time around. I did do some cutting and scoring beforehand just to keep this video down a little bit. But as we go through this, I'll be sure to mention the measurements verbally too. That piece of cardstock there, that's Pebbled Path, is going to measure 3 inches across by 5.5 down. You want to score it at the top by 1 inch. I put tear and tape on both sides of the score line, the 1 inch side. When I did that, it just helped me get it down easier. It's strictly up to you how you want to put it together, but I do want that to, fold over. And to do our sentiment, I took from the smallest, the third and the fourth stylo shapes there. The third is cut from Pebbled Path, and I took the same sentiment as last time and heat embossed that on there with white cardstock, and then white powder. And then the vellum, that is cut out of the fourth largest stylo shaped circle die. And I just adhere that right on top with liquid adhesive. And I'm going to grab our gold thread. It's like a linen gold thread out of a sweet collection that came out last year that you can still pick up. And it's called Marbled Elegance Sweet Collection. It's kind of Valentine's Day one. So I'm looping that around in the back with a bow and then grabbing my scotch tape just to get everything like that adhered down. And don't forget to pay attention how I'm keeping everything, all my adhesive, the glue dots, or not the glue dots, but the Stampin' Dimensionals that are going to go on the back, as well as that piece of tape to secure down the gold thread. Because you don't want any adhesive going on the vellum. I mean, little teeny tiny strips of liquid adhesive, that's fine if you have something to layer it up, but with this one we don't. So watch the adhesive placement there so you have like that nice line or that vellum circle around there. Okay. I adhere down our cardstock. That was from the opposite side of the card base, which is what I used for that hive thing from the kit. I just cut it down to size. And again, all those measurements, everything like that will be over on the blog at cindybdesigns.com. And there will be a link to that blog post directly under that. And don't forget to leave a comment for your kit. I know I'm going to keep saying that, but I got to catch up with you guys. And please check your email, junk folder, or whatever. And I'll start putting it underneath the YouTube video too. And I have before, but go back and look, make sure that your name's there or not there, especially if you left a comment. So while I'm yakking away, I think it was pretty self-explanatory how I got everything in here down to that panel there. It was easier for me to get that flap down on the panel before I started adhering it to the card base. Could you probably do it in a step or two less? Yeah, but I didn't because I just get, neurotic about things sometimes. And I want it perfectly on there and I want everything to stick. And so that is going to be it for the front of that card and for our fun fold. And now this is where I'm going to put, I'm using black Stampin' Dimensionals on the back of this. I think, yeah, I am. I just thought that would go better with our base and everything like that since it is Pebbled Path. Pop those on the back, and now I'm going to pop that on the front. And I think this is where I'm going to pause and start lining up the inside of our flap there. I'm pretty sure I'm going to do that. So I'm going to get that right in the middle. And for the inside, I don't want to bulk it up too much. And that's where I kind of prepped what I was going to figure out and what I'm doing for the inside. So that circle there, that is from kind of like the same what we used on our first card. I just grabbed it from what I had left over on my desk from the kit. And we also use that piece of ephemera from the kit on our first card as well. So when I tilted on the left, grabbed in another birthday sentiment from the stamp sets in the kit, and I stamped that down in, oh, what is that ink that I'm really going to miss? That's in color Pebbled Path. That boho blue and especially wild wheat. And there was one copper clay. I got used to that. I will not miss the Moody Mob, but you will see it next week for more videos featuring this kit where I'm bringing in Queen Bee and Cheerful Daisies, all of which are still available to you, so you might want to pick them up because we're going to have a lot of fun with that and bring in some items from this kit here, but just incorporate it all and have a really good time. So it's really important where you watch your placement of that your inside sentiment there because you want the flap to go ahead and cover it up. And again, I don't want too much bulk on this. So I'm going to get our little bumblebee there, adhere down with liquid adhesive. And then what I'm going to do is pull back in that piece right there. But I don't want the two daisies on the end. So I'm going to just kind of use my paper snips to manipulate that image and cut out the daisies I don't want. On this side, I kind of got impatient because it's a little bit different than the right and ended up pulling it off. Big mistake. Kind of ripped off part of my leaves there, but you just twist and turn your cardstock and you fix it and it worked out okay. And again, be super careful with all these little images there because they are on the lighter side or daintier side, but it does work out. I'm popping down little drops of liquid adhesive on the back of our daisy image there. Going to put that at the top center of our sentiment panel there, and that is going to be it for card number 2. Now, as you know, for my paper pumpkin alternatives, I'm going to be bringing in the first card in a second here. I like to keep them really close to as much in the kit as I can as possible. But this time around, I didn't think anything would bring in extra cardstock, an embellishment, or ink colors outside of the paper pumpkin kit there. I'm trying to hold back a sneeze. So that is one of the card kit bases I also cut in half, and I wanted to put that's going to go on top of a mossy meadow card base again. And I'm trying to dirty it up from that super, super light crushed curry or daffodil delight. And I was trying to figure out how many times to stamp it off. And I think I'm doing 4 times here because I don't want it overpowering everything. But I have too much white on white there with those daisies on top of the card or the image panel there. So I had to, distress it a little bit. So I got that hive stamped down, which by the way is pretty. It's a pretty solid image. It looks more line art on the stamp itself, but it's pretty solid. The bumblebee is half and half. That's pecan pie ink, and I stamped that off 2 or 3 times. And I thought, okay, I'll stop at 3, but then that panel was just not filled out enough for me. And sticking to the rule of Oz, I thought, okay, 7, then 9, then I don't care. And I just started stamping it off a couple times everywhere else until I was happy with it, and I am happy with that. Because after we do some coloring on the petals, you're going to be able to see a huge difference. So this is something I forget to do way too often is with all of our ephemera, anything that we die cut out from cardstock, whatever. We can add color to it, take away color from it with so many different techniques. I mean, I have forgotten about doing that. So I'm grabbing a crushed curry watercolor pencil and I am just adding some color to the very ends of our daisies there. Super, super light because again, I keep saying this, those images, they are really dainty and I don't want to make the mistake of turning one up on accident to where I can't fix it without taking an iron to it, something crazy like that. So I'm adding some color to the end of all of those little images there, the big flowers and the little ones. And then I'm grabbing a blender pen. You want to make sure that that's moist and there's no color left on it. And then I'm just pulling the color out. You can pull it in towards the stamen if you'd like to. Even add some more crumb cake in there. Maybe put a ring around the stamen there of crumb cake and blend that out towards the end of the petals there. There's a lot you can do just with this simple and fun technique. It's the easiest thing to do in the world, but it looks great. And there is where I want you to see the difference by adding that colored pencil to just those daisies there and what a big difference it makes. So we are going to start getting everything adhered now and get our alternatives finished up. I like this video and I hope that you do too because normally I just do 3 simple cards and I'm trying to do a good balance here toward what I've done with these sketches and fun folds. They will work with no matter what you have, if all you have is a kit or anything like that. But I do like the idea of using an alternative strictly for a card, and then maybe doing a fun fold, and then maybe a technique, because I enjoyed doing that for you, and I think I came up with better ideas, kind of being able to get out of the box a little bit. So, let me know what you think, and don't forget to leave a comment to win your kit. I brought in my favorite wild wheat ribbon from the holiday catalog. I'm going to miss that. I might keep a little bit, but yeah, I'm going to keep a little bit. But you can see what a big difference that image panel makes by adding more color to it, to that card base there, and to the flowers alone. Oh, card class got details about that Lisa and I are coming up or doing. Don't forget to pick up your dies for April, May, and June. They sell it fast. That's next month. Sign up by April 10th. And then the same with May, more masculine. And then June, new sweet collection from the new annual catalog coming up. So yeah, that went by really quick. But all that info is over on the blog if you need, you know, the details, whatever you need. So thank you for joining me today. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe. Feel free to share, leave a comment. And again, I hope that you liked our cards. Have a fantastic week, and I will see you next.